Woods and Mason found themselves awakening in an abandoned military fortress. As they opened their eyes, they saw Viktor Reznov standing watch over them, protecting Mason at all cost. Mason panicked, reaching for his sidearm, but quickly realized that Viktor Reznov was not a threat to him or his brother, Frank Woods. He put the gun down and radioed Captain Price, informing him that they had successfully lain low for a few weeks and were ready to find Helen Park, a rogue agent who had betrayed the CIA under Raul Menendez's command. As for Russell Adler, he had been killed by Woods the second his gun went off, hitting him painfully. Suddenly, a signal appeared on a monitor showing the ID target, Helen Park. She was heading toward members of Cortes Die, run by Raul Menendez. Frank Woods and Alex Mason gathered their gear and headed to Raul Menendez's mansion. Captain Price radioed them, warning that the mansion would not be easy to infiltrate. They would need to go in quietly. Mason and Woods sneaked inside, killing each guard with their silenced sniper rifles. They reached the end of yet another hallway. One door led to a dark room with a figure standing with a shotgun. The other room was filled with soldiers of Raul Menendez, and Raul himself sat near his desk waiting. One could only assume what would happen if Mason found himself in a situation he couldn't get himself or his best friend, Frank Woods, out of. Suddenly, Mason saw a vision in which he opened the door, and there she was, Helen Park, standing with a shotgun in her hands. She looked as though she didn't even see Alex Mason and Frank Woods enter her room. Mason silently sneaked up on her, grabbed her, and told her not to make a sound. "We are taking you in for betraying your country," he whispered. Helen Park realized the danger that lay with Alex Mason and began to struggle to free herself from his grip, but Mason was determined not to let this opportunity slip. He knocked her unconscious and ordered Captain Price to call for extraction. It would be a daring task to sneak out of Raul Menendez's mansion, but what choice did Alex Mason have? Little did they know, Raul Menendez was plotting something for Helen Park. What was it, and would they be able to avoid such danger as they made their way back to Captain Price? Mason had done the unthinkable. Having barely survived that nightmarish trap, he had made the impossible decision to spare Helen Park, even as the voice of Viktor Reznov echoed in his mind, cautioning him of her treacherous motives. But still, he refrained from taking her life in that dark, windowless room. Now, he sat facing her across a stark, cold desk, her eyes meeting his, a tangled web of stories and lies waiting to unravel. Could she be part of Raul Menendez's sinister plan? Or was this something more personal, a vendetta for Russell Adler? The questions circled Mason's mind like vultures over a carcass. Without warning, a blinding glow from a window burst into the room. Mason shielded his eyes, straining to make out the figure standing there. "Why did you attack the CIA? What were your intentions?" The voice boomed, accusing, unrelenting. Helen Park's resolve wavered. She glanced nervously from Mason to the window, her fear palpable in the room. "What do you want from me?" she cried. "We want to know where you got information on our top-secret projects," the voice demanded. "We know you worked with the CIA and MI6 alongside Russell Adler. Now, tell us what you know, or pay the price." A jolt of electricity surged through Helen's chair. She screamed in agony. "Did you confirm the kill on the CIA?" the voice pressed. "No. I didn't do it." Helen sobbed, the pain contorting her face. "Think back to February 17th, the day you went undercover to stop Perseus' attack on the world. Who brainwashed you into following his orders?" Helen's mind blurred, a fever dream unfolding. She saw herself approaching a desk, a figure seated with his back to her. The man turned, his identity a shadowy enigma. She felt a chill race down her spine. Moments later, she was jolted awake by the searing pain of the electric shock. Her eyes widened with revelation. It was an alarm shrieked through the air. Smoke and fire erupted. Mason was down, shot but still breathing. Helen, panic-stricken, ran to his side, tears streaming down her face. Woods appeared, his face a mask of anguish as he noticed Mason's pale complexion. I saw him, Woods said, voice taut with fury. Raul Menendez. He shot Mason and then ran. Bedlam ensued. Gunfire echoed through the corridors as CIA operatives stormed the building. Suddenly, Captain Price and Soap McTavish burst into the room. "We found the mole," Price announced grimly. It was Stitch. He ordered the hit. Woods scoffed, eyeing the newcomers. "So, what kind of name is Soap McTavish? How does a muffin like you join the SAS?" Despite the chaos, the corners of his mouth twitched into a brief smile. Together, Mason, Helen, Woods, Price, and Soap forged ahead, a motley crew united by dire circumstances. Victor Reznov's spirit guided them, a shadow among shadows, as they finally confronted Raul Menendez. The room crackled with tension, each future action a trigger waiting to be pulled.